Yeah, what's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Prison Break Raw. I'm your host, the one and only Big JD. Go ahead and get this channel, subscribe, leave some messages or comments, give a thumbs up for the like, notification bell to be informed on all episodes when they drop. Share this shit, don't share it, whatever it is, get it in then. Let's go ahead and get into this one right here. So, for any of you that remember, for some of you out there that was rocking with this channel since day one, since back in the day, before the long sabbatical that I took, you remember a common theme or a staple that had gotten stuck to this channel in the dislike for Wes Watson and all his dishonesty and all the bullshit that he was spewing out, all the lies and everything. Talk about how he did 10 years and he didn't give it a 10-year sentence. Talk about how he's been all up in the level 4s, he's validated, blah, 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 and some more blah. Well, you kind of found out what he's really about, right? Still, I haven't gotten no apologies from all of the naysayers and all the trolls and all the rest of these weirdos that were just sniffing around this channel constantly, daily, day in and day out on my bumper. But no reason at all other than the fact that I just voiced my opinion about this clown. See, what a lot of yous don't know is that as a content creator, we have some level of kind of like, mingling and knowing of each other. Every now and then we might talk to one another. I've talked to some content creators that are in totally different genres. People that you would be shocked to know that I actually know. Now, I don't know Wes Watson personally, okay? I'll go ahead and throw that out there right now. I don't know the man personally, but I know his story and I know his lies, and I know a lot of things that many of you just don't know. But you went on a leap of faith and you supported this man and his channel and his mission and his endeavor in life of ripping people off and lying. Now he's talking about how he's a multi-millionaire. I don't know how that's possible unless, of course, he's ripped that many people off, in which case there's probably some legal litigation going out there in some courtroom, and then he's probably going to end up getting sued sooner or later. All right, that's just my assumption of it. Don't know if that's really true or not, but I could tell you this. Before I actually did any kind of video in regards to him personally, I did a video called The Optical Illusion, Bullies, Bigmouths, something to that equivalent. I had to go back and find it. It was a long, long time ago. It's all about seeing if you can hoop your driver's license or your paperwork straight out of reception. Now, the misconception was this. The misconception was, and there was another channel that was out there a long time ago, and I'll go ahead and, say his name out there, William Ainsworth, had gotten all upset in his feelers because he thought I was saying that nobody ever hoops their paperwork, and I never said that. People do hoop their paperwork. You can hoop your 128G, and people do fold it all the way down to little tiny microscopic little squares, and they shove it up their ass. I mean, it happens. I've shoved my paperwork up my ass. I'm not going to lie. But what I was saying is the way that he was making it sound is that he had gotten his 128G straight from reception. Now, if any of you out there have ever been in the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, or the CDCR, in reception, you know that you don't get your 128G until you touch down on the main line that you have been designated to go to. Period. Depending on your points and everything, your counselor, your CC1 over there at the reception center will calculate your points, and they will figure in all the other factors, your gang affiliations, your level of violence, prior prison terms, and all that shit like that will all get factored in, and this will determine exactly what yard you will touch down on. Okay? And it's just a basic initial kind of like a feeling you out type of a thing. You get your points figured in and everything like that. So if you got like 28 points or above or whatever, you're going to a level 3. At least that's how it was when I was there. You're not going to go to a level 4 unless you're at like 54 points and above. And that's how it was for a long, long time. It's probably still how it is. However, they revamped the point system to where people went down, people went up, and all this stuff like that. And this happened in the earlier of the 2000s. And I don't think it's changed since. But now it goes even further into more determinants to determine where you're going to go, okay? So like, let's say, for example, you're part of a security threat group. Then you're going to end up going to a yard that's basically tailored for that. If you can't be integrated on a 50-50 yard or any of these soft yards or whatever else they got going on nowadays, then you're going to go to a more active yard, and it's going to be a solid active yard, all active all the way across the board. If you've got issues that says that you could become a possible threat to the security or safety of the institution, that's what that means right there. So, in the case of Wes Watson, right? So he was at Donovan reception, okay? And he said that he hooped his paperwork from there. That's why I did the video, Bullies, Big Mouths, and the Optical Illusion. That's what it was called. It just popped into my head right now. Bullies, Big Mouths, and the Optical Illusion. And it was basically in regards to people like himself that talk all this good one. And as you know, the bigger the mouth, the sweeter the berry, right? The bigger the mouth, the sweeter the berry. So the more he talks, the more wind power he pumps out, the more it's going to say that he's basically he's a weenie, you know? The bigger the mouth. So a lot of people like the more quieter ones. The quieter one is the one that you need to look out for. But it's the one that's pumping out all that wind power, pumping out more wind power than all the wind mills of West Texas, basically. So that guy right there said that he stuck his paperwork in his ass from the reception and went to a level 4, level 3, wherever it was. But as we all know, the guy went to a private prison in Oklahoma. Or he went to Arizona, then he went to Oklahoma, blah, whatever. Whatever the case may be, he never touched down at a CSP, a California state prison. He went into that system of sending people out of state to alleviate the overcrowding in the California prison system. So my thing was in the Bullies, Big Mouths, and Optical Illusion, and I'll show you a clip of that. I'll show you a clip of how I know that I've been swimming around up in the swimming pool of his mind ever since then.
YouTuber ex-prison ecosystem out there, though, because it's
I never really saw it.
You just don't really tap in and pay attention.
No, at first some of them were saying like Wes wasn't a shot caller.
I saw that.
Yeah, but now look how much money I'm making. They're at their grandma's house.
Definitely, but okay, where was it? Wes Watson. Okay, because the guy was like, he had a lot of fucking like complaints in one of these videos I wanted. So I was just trying to see what else you thought about this. There was a guy saying that, he didn't believe that you hooped your paperwork. A lot of people have kind of made a meme out of it.
Oh, dude, you wrap it up this big. Like, you get like a 128G, and you get copies of your 128G, which is your paperwork. You fold it over so many times, it's this big. Look at it. It's this big. You put a glove around it 3 or 4 times. You twist it up and you shove it up your ass.
And do you just stop thinking about it after a while?
Yeah, then you go to the next place, you shit out, you got your paperwork, and now you don't have to wait for it. It's this big.
Right.
This one guy was like rolling up a paper like this. How's he gonna put this up his ass? I'm like, dude, are you from Tennessee or what, dog? Like, dude, fold a fucking piece of paper into a square. It'll be that big and tight. You'll get
your 128 is your real driver's license in the CDC. You don't get that until you hit the main line. And if you're going to show up on the main line and you're going to hoop your paperwork, your driver's license, I guess it's going to be your discovery. It's going to be your police report or something to that effect. Whatever the case, it's going to be a large document like such. This right here, Houston, we appear to have a problem. I don't think I'm going to take this with this and stick it up this. You've got to be out your motherfucking mind. You're going to have to wait for my attorney to send that shit, and you're going to have to wait for my 128G. And I rest my case. What? None of you Westy sissies got any kind of, anything to say about that? I don't know, explain away, nothing? Didn't think so. Your boy been living in the motherfucker's head. There you go. So my thing was this. If he hooped his paperwork from the reception center, then it had to have been his discovery, it had to have been his police report, it had to have been something like that, and it was going to be a huge document. Because your discovery, your police report, and all the other documents, court records, whatever the case, minutes, all that stuff, is going to be a bunch of documents. Okay? So you're going to have to shove that whole document up in your ass. And that's where that joke came from, where if you've ever seen the meme of him with a file cabinet in his ass. And I'll put it up here on one of these videos one of these days, just to piss him off even further. But you see, the reason I know that I've been living rent-free in his head is because he went on No Jumper. You know, the cuck that he hangs out with? You know how he talks about he doesn't hang out with sex offenders and all this and this and that and the works, right? And the likes. But how many of you know exactly what Adam 22 got busted for some time ago? The same charge that Bill Clinton pardoned him for. Bet you didn't know that shit, did you? He pardoned him for a sex crime. So Wes Watson was hanging out with a sex offender, talking about basically, oh, you know, this guy says he's going to shove a document. Where is he from? Tennessee? Fucking clown. No, motherfucker. I'm from Cali. And you know what? I've done time in real Cali prisons. CSP California prisons. Prisons you ain't ever even been to. So we'll just go ahead and throw that out there right there. But I've been living in his head ever since. And then when I did the Wes Watson video, after that, talking about what he had done to his fans, and all you little crybabies just came running after me. Oh, he's jealous and all that other bullshit. I bet you feel like a real fucking buffoon now, don't you? As you should. All of you should feel like a real buffoon. But the one that really gets to me about all of this whole Wes Watson thing is the amount of different channels in the prison genre that are now all of a sudden talking about Wes Watson when it's easy. They're talking about it when it's easy. Well, guess what? I took on that giant all by myself. And all these other channels that are out there doing it right now, they're snickering behind the back and everything like that and laughing and giggling. Couldn't wait for me to be gone so they can squeeze on in up in the rankings. Got no respect for that. I got no respect for that at all. And also I'm throwing names out on all those channels at some point in time, so they better watch their fucking backs. And they better not like even squeeze not one fart of my name out their ass. Because I will come gunning. And I will come with the heat and the roast, unlike anything they've ever seen before. I'll roast these motherfuckers so tough, they'll be singing songs about it up in the hills for years and years and generations to come. And that's real deal Holyfield right there. But I want to clear the air about this and talk about this whole thing as a means to knock the rust up out of the crankcase of the fact that I've been gone. And to get back into the groove of all this stuff like that, I was going to go ahead and bring you this one right here, right? But I'm going to show you some clips, and then we're going to end with that right there. But this right here shows you that I've been living in this man's head. This right here shows you that these people really did come after me. They really did come after me in a big way. And I'm calling them out by names. All these boob tubers. And all these other organizations and everything that invest in it. Blackstone Labs. Watson Fitness. Right? Christina Randall. Jessica Kent. Probably even Big Herc. A lot of these other channels had basically gotten together behind the scenes and came after me. And they paid antagonistic and weird, psychologically imbalanced people. They're also in the YouTube world to come after me. People were paid pretty good money to come after me and to try to like attack my family and everything else that they've done. It's weird. It's crazy. It's wild. It's like something out of a sci-fi movie. But it's real and it happened. But they wouldn't even bust a grape. Nobody ever came to my house. Nobody robbed me. Nobody did nothing, right? All they did is like hide behind a screen. Because what they found was it was much more effective to attack somebody in this way with online bullying than it was to actually physically come at somebody, because then now there's a police report, right? Excuse me. Now there's actually like physical damage that's been done. Although there have people that have come to my house. They never showed up at my house when I was there because they knew I was at work. And then following my niece around, following a 20-year-old girl around, wow, you must be a real fucking gangster, right? But you see those kind of people that will follow a 20-year-old girl around? Like if I'd have found out who they were, yanked them up out their car, beat the living motherfucking brakes off of them, they'd have peed on themselves and called the cops. Because that's what these cowards are. When you're dealing with people that are S and Y, when you're dealing with people with debriefed and taking the stands against people that talk about how they were big bad shot callers and all this and this and that, and then they testified against people, you can't say you're a gangster no more. I'm sorry, but you're not. You're a rat. Simple as that. You're a rat. You're a rat. And I'm throwing it out there right like that. Because that's what you did. That's what you did. You can say whatever you want about me, but there's one thing that nobody can ever say about me is that I'm a rat or that I'm a dropout or I've done anything like that. I've kept it real with all of you since day one. And I've yet to get a single fucking apology from anybody regards to any of this shit. And at this point in time, I'm not really looking to collab or rub shoulders with any of these other channels. Period. And I'll tell you why. Until people start showing me what they're all about, what they're really about, if they've testified or whatnot, I'm not looking to do anything with any of them. Period. And that's how mad I am about this shit. I've gone through the ringer. I've gone through some of the most psychological bullshit that you can go through. People died from this COVID in my family. And I stayed trucking on. I stayed moving forward, right? Barely holding on to my sanity and my physical well-being. Asking myself, why am I still alive and they're dead? Survivor's guilt. I went through a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't understand. A lot of stuff that is still affecting me to this day. And while all this shit was going on and why people were laughing and carrying on and having their fun with me and exploiting my channel and my name and all that shit, the one thing that any of them cannot say is that I'm a piece of shit, because I'm not, right? And I stand on that as being probably one of the only real ones out of the whole California lot. One of them. Not saying the only one, but one of them. But there's a lot of these people out there that basically they got nothing coming from me in any way, shape, or form because of their conduct when I went down. Now, none of them ever checked on me to ask me how I was doing. Now, none of them offered to put up a fundraiser or anything like that to help me to keep me from losing my house. A place, by the way, that I busted my ass to get. To a level and status that is very difficult for anybody like me to accomplish. But that's what it is, people. I did that video, Bigmouth Bullies and the Optical Illusion, and talked about the dude shoving paperwork up his ass because you don't get your 128G in reception. You get it when you touch down at the yard you were designated to touch down at. Pure and simple. So if you want to say whining, this and that, and the third, I really don't care. Because right now, I'm knocking the rust up off the crankcase, coming back out and try to make you some real banger content, and basically putting these skinny pants gangsters and all the rest of these phonies on notice that I've noticed where they were this entire time that I was gone. And basically, there wasn't nowhere that's worth anything to me. So don't ask me for a damn single collab or nothing, because I ain't doing shit with none of you motherfuckers. You already know what it is. You heard it right here. Prison Break Raw, uncut, uncensored, no hold bar, not sugarcoat, not politically correct, all up in your face, slapping you with that dick of reality. And I'm out.